Good afternoon, everybody. Sean here again from the Trusted Business Community Association. And today I'm joined by Alison Dawkes, gut health expert. She's a personal nutritionist. She works on gut health and tummy troubles. She cures things like IBS and helps you get over those issues because of the intake of the food that you're taking into your body. She also works with menopause. She's a TTBCA, a Trusted Business Community Association ambassador, and she runs our Health and Wellness Hour. Alison, welcome to the interview.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, obviously, people are going to want to know a little bit more about you, and this is the whole idea of why we're having these interviews, so that people can find out a little bit more about you before they want to connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, a gut health expert.
Yes.
Well, firstly, tell us a little bit more about it and what got you into it in the first place.
Okay. Long story short, before I had the children, I was working in IT, so very different and logical brain, liked my 1 + 1 = 2. And then I had the children, and it's a bit cliche, but obviously it changed my life, but made me think about things a bit different. And during the having one of those children, I had IBS previously, but it made it a lot worse due to things that happened during labour. But so that, and having newborn and children, all these babies that are completely dependent on you, you don't want to mess them up. So I went into a lot of research mode, and I had a lot of trouble with the doctors. Nobody could really sort my stomach out, and I kind of stumbled on nutrition. I know it sounds a bit weird, but I heard someone talk about it, and I was like, oh, that kind of caught my attention, and decided to do some independent research. And haven't really looked back. Fell into it, but it was like a rabbit hole. And I think the key thing is, I'm now symptom free, and I've done that myself, but it's not been difficult. It's education, and I think I'm very passionate about educating people and giving people the knowledge that they need to be able to help themselves live a happy and healthy life.
Awesome. One of the questions a lot of people tend to ask, they look at nutrition and straight away they think diet.
Yeah.
Now, I think because of the conversations we've had in the past, I think there's a massive difference between diet or dieting and nutritional value. Do you want to just give us a little bit more information around the two different things so that people can understand it a little bit more? Because I think a lot of people go, oh yeah, nutrition, that means I've got to go on a diet, I've got to eat lettuce, I can't eat what I want to eat, etc., etc. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think it's important for me to break this diet myth. Diet is actually a term that should be for the entirety. It's not a limited amount of time. So when people say they're going on a diet, that means they're limiting their intake for a certain amount of time, whereas really it should be educating yourself, eating better for the rest of your life. And I'm not about restriction. I'm not about taking things away from you. I mean, I eat chocolate, I have a gin and tonic, I'm not saying that I have lots. It's about keeping things that you like in your diet. And, what's the point in living a long, healthy life if you're not happy, if you're just miserable, eating stuff that you don't like, or feeling like you're deprived? As soon as you feel you're deprived, you're more likely to go back to your old ways and eat the not so good stuff for you. So I'm kind of against the term diet in terms of restriction and for a limited amount of time. It's, as I said, it's about changing for the good and forever, or throughout your life.
So it's more of maybe a habit forming sort of approach that their mindset would need to be, I need to change my habits.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can be a better version of myself.
Yeah, I think definitely. And unfortunately, by the time people come to me, they are in pain, which is a shame, because, I don't like to see people in pain, but it's a very big motivator. And if people just understood and had the education before that, they could have avoided that pain. And you don't need that. Motivates people, but then they kind of come and say, well, I wish I'd known that before, because it's not difficult, and it can be life-changing in the fact that you're pain-free and symptom-free, but it's not life-changing in the fact that You know, you're completely changing your diet. You're changing it for better, and it's education. It's just people just don't understand what's in the food that they're eating, and the sooner you understand that, the better. And as I said, I'm not about eating lettuce every day and never eating chocolate again. That's not that's not very realistic.
I suppose what as a bit somebody in the nutritional sort of industry sector, I suppose what you're up against, and this could, you know, I'm just surmising here, so please tell me if I'm completely off kilt here, but you're up against the way people live and the fast pace that they're living at, so that people grabbing that, you know, that burger, I'm not going to mention any names, that burger or those fries or chips or, you know, whatever it may be, because it's just quick and easy. And then of course you've got the people that don't go do the takeout, but they then maybe do the microwave meals because again it's quick and it's easy because their lifestyle is so fast paced.
Yeah.
And they're just grabbing moments to eat. That must be a challenge for somebody like yourself in your industry sector to change that mindset of taking time to put things on the plate that are more nourishing, more much better for you, much better intake, giving you more nutrients from the you know, from the intake that they're taking in, because there are just so many. The world has changed so much that, you know, people are just on the fast pace and just grabbing whatever they can when they can.
It is. It's a it's one of the hardest parts, but again, I'll go back to the education piece, and it's I call it investing in your health pension. So you're kind of understanding what you need to do, and it's planning. It's all about planning. You know, you plan your meals, you do your shopping, and you cook. You know, depending on sort of family circumstances, people like to batch cook at the weekend and freeze it or what have you. And you know, you can't live life avoiding these fast food places. You know, if you want to have one occasionally, go for it. You know, but don't expect to feel brilliant after it. I mean, I think I've found, and a lot of my clients have found, if you don't eat this stuff for a long time, the occasions that you do have it, you feel really rubbish after because your system's just telling you. Ugh. But you know, we live in the real world, and you can't expect to avoid that all the time. And a lot of the people that I work with are mums that are on the go. They're working, they've got kids, they're under pressure to feed their children a lot of the time quickly between clubs and school and whatnot. But then, you know, that again, it's the education piece. They don't understand what they're putting into their system can really negatively impact their health. And as soon as you understand that, you find that people do actually want to take an interest in what they're putting in their mouths and what they're cooking and what's in it and how they can make the changes for the better. And it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be slow. You know, you can cook meals from scratch quite quickly if you want to. And as I said, preparation's key.
Now, I've heard a rumour that if you go back a number of years, the nutritional value of food back in the day is a lot higher than the nutritional value of food in today's marketplace, if you like, what we're eating. Is that true?
Yeah, so that's one of the things I use when I do a presentation, just trying to get an impact. I can't remember the exact date, but it's in the 1970s. If you took a plate of salad from the 1970s and put the exactly same items on it today, the nutritional value is 48 times less what it would have been in the 1970s today. So you need 48 of those plates. For want of a better expression, we've kind of raked the earth from all the nutrients.
Right.
And stuff isn't, I mean, even if you eat the cleanest of diets, the nutrients just aren't there as they were before. And it's sad, you know, but it is the way of the world. And I think there is a lot of things that are happening now to try and increase that, and people are starting to realise that. But that's why I'm regularly recommending people take a good quality multivitamin and mineral supplement, because at the end of the day, your body's going to take what it needs from it and get rid of anything else that it doesn't, and it can't hurt you. You know, that's it. I'd have to say, you know, come and speak to someone or speak to your doctor or anything before you start taking any new stuff, because you have to make sure that it's not going to interact with any medication. But 9 times out of 10, what you can buy off the shelf, not that I advocate going to just buy it off the shelf. I'd recommend speaking to someone properly first, but it's not going to hurt you. You can only get good things from it. And it's just the way it is now, unfortunately.
But you also love giving out, each month you give out a top tip, don't you?
I
And
do.
one of your top tips was about gut health and how certain things that you take, some sit in the gut, which is a good thing, and some pass through the system, which is not such a good thing if you suddenly stop taking them. Can you just
Yes.
explain to the people that are listening, because I'm talking around something you and I have spoken to in a health and wellness hour with others in the call, but I'd love for people to understand what you mean when you're taking these supplements and taking certain things to make your system work better. What the differences that are out there from the choices that you can make.
Well, this is why I love what I do. So the gut is it's where everything's affected by your gut, and you can take probiotics, prebiotics. I mean, they're quite popular, but people a lot of people take one and expect amazing results, which sometimes happens, but sometimes doesn't. And the difference is because there's different bacteria there's different strains. There's millions of different strains of bacteria. Some are good, some are bad. Usually you'd be taking the good ones, not the bad ones. But they're different in terms of some of the bacteria take up residency in your gut. So once they're there for good, unless you have antibiotics that kills them off. And others are transient, so they'll work through your system. And as soon as you stop taking them, you won't feel the benefits of that anymore. And this is why it's quite key to speak to a specialist like myself, because I can recommend particular strains for particular areas that you want to concentrate on. So there'll be different for skincare, for mental health, if you're taking antibiotics, things like that.
Brilliant. Thank you for explaining that. I think that's.
Hope that made sense.
Yeah, I thought it made sense to me. So if it makes sense to me, Alison, it must make sense to everybody else. So now you are somebody who obviously works with different people, whether men, women as well. Both, obviously you work a lot with women as well, and you work equally with men. And you have a number of different offerings that you can help people out on. Where we were talking earlier before this interview, we were talking about the different sort of things that you're doing. You've got 12-week programs available. Yep. Potentially looking at bringing something extra into those as a sort of like a starting point. But you can work with anybody on a level where they feel comfortable. So if somebody needs more help from you, I understand from what we were talking about earlier that you are able to give them more help because you have different sort of levels of support that you can give them. And if somebody feels that they don't need that one-on-one support so much, but they just need your advice and guidance and tips, and you can work with them with making sure that they're taking the right intake in their body, but they can get on with it themselves. They've got willpower to see it through as such. You can work with them from anybody within that spectrum.
Yeah, so I mean, the key thing that I constantly harp on about, and you won't be you've heard this before, is that we're all very unique. So not just in our genetic makeup, but our lifestyles. I've got 2 young kids and a busy family. Some people haven't got kids. Some people like different things, eat different times, drink at different times, sleep at different times. So everybody is so individual that I can't really just put everybody in a box. So my programs, there are 3 levels, but every person gets a unique experience because the problem that we're targeting can be unique and the person is unique. So I can work pretty much around any person. I can find something that will fit them to help them feel better and healthier and happier.
Now, of course, you're based in the UK. But I take it that you are able to reach out, especially now in the beautiful world of online Zooms and Teams and all the other online medias that we can now talk to. Are you able to reach out to people across the world and offer them the same level of service standard that you offer people in the UK?
I can. There are a few limits in terms of my insurance and where I can practice. There are a few exclusions in terms of supplement advice and stuff like that. I have to be quite careful. But I mean, general advice I can work with. And the best thing to do is just to have a chat. I can speak to people, find out, where they're coming, what problem they've got, and how we can move forward. as I said, each case is so individual. It's quite difficult to say, yes, I can definitely work with you if you live in, I don't know, Germany or America. It's, you know, it's quite, you have to be quite careful in that respect. And also I wouldn't want to give the wrong advice to anybody, you know, because the what am I thinking of? The people that monitor the drug, FDA, I think it is, in America, is very different to here. So what we can get is very different to what the Americans can get, and all that sort of thing.
And
So
vice versa.
yeah.
There's so obviously lots of different sort of rules and regulations that
Absolutely,
come under the different parts of the world. Yeah, no, I totally get that. Okay, so listen, people are going to probably want to find out a little bit more about you, and those that have listened into this interview, I'm sure they're going to also want to find out where you hang out so that they can connect with you on those social media platforms. So do you want to just give us a little bit of where to find you, Alison, so that people can reach you?
Absolutely. I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, don't use it too much really. Obviously email, website, you know, I could hopefully can post all of those with this video so people can reach out. And you know, there is the old fashioned pick up the phone and give me a call. Yeah.
Now, obviously, if people are looking to find these places where she's hanging out, Alison is in our directory. So if you head over to www.trustedbusinesscommunity.com, go into the directory, you will find her there. Click on the more button under her profile, and all of these accesses come up. So you can reach her out, you can get hold of her on telephone, you can email her through there, you can talk to her. You can even, if you really want to, and she's showing she's available to do so, you can even have a video conference call off of that directory. So, you know, you can literally do what we're doing today and have that one-to-one response immediately should you need some immediate advice or guidance from an accredited member of our association who's has gone through a proven process to get that accredited service standard. Alison, it's been an absolute brilliant opportunity to interview, and I've been looking forward to having this interview because I think it's really important that health is everything.
Mm-hmm.
In business, your health comes first. You know, I tell people, rest up, take some time out over the weekend, recover, recharge. Whether they listen to me is another matter. But I do, because I didn't listen to myself, and it starts to wear you down. So I'm very keen on the health and wellness aspects, especially for business owners, because I think we all need to recharge. So having this interview today with you has been a really eye-opening experience, and I hope that those people listening in have also learned a few things about how they can help themselves, but most importantly, how to find you so they definitely can help themselves. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe below for more interviews that are coming up. But for now, Alison Dawkes of Health Equals Happiness, thank you for being with me today.
Well, thank you very much.